Hello! Today I'm going to be talking about what my art piece called Vindictive means. So let's get into it. This is the piece. It has like a gold outline. Let me describe the picture. It's a self-portrait, as you know, of me ripping a sword out of my back. And it may look like I'm stabbing myself because, yeah, but because I'm like grabbing it behind me, it's supposed to represent how I'm like pulling it out of myself instead of stabbing it into myself, because how can you stab yourself in the back? I made the piece and chose to draw from this pose to kind of represent like betrayal, how you traditionally would get stabbed in the back, but I wanted to do a kind of spin on it to where it can be so hard to get over betrayal. It can be so hard to get over grudges, and I really wanted to portray a painful scene of an attempt of trying to get over an event that, was traumatic, or an event that you'll never forget, or someone betraying you. Like, a betrayal is an event, let's be real. So yeah, I wanted to convey that. Me personally, I struggle and have struggled with in the past with getting over grudges and betrayal in general, and just hurt very vaguely. Like, I struggle with moving on, and it can be one of the hardest things to do, especially like with things like trauma or things like bad memories and such. Like, eventually it's something that's necessary, but that doesn't make it any less painful. And I tried to make the scene, kind of dramatic, because it is a very big deal to get over something like this. A little bit more about why I made the decisions that I did creatively. There's lines to convey movement. I am in AP art right now as a junior in high school, and our assignment was to convey movement some way, somehow, through artwork. And I chose to take the static approach. Like, I don't think if I put the lines here, the graphic lines, I don't think it'd be as fluid or dynamic. And also, when we were going over the lesson for movement, my teacher also said that movement can be conveyed through certain poses, and I don't think this is a pose that anyone would hold, so I hope that I get a good grade on this. Me personally, especially when I switched schools, I went through a certain event, my last like real day at one of my old schools. It was one of the worst days of my life, and I struggled getting over that day and getting over the grudges that I held against, the people who were involved in the whole situation, and my anger at the world. I struggled with that for about like 9 months. I constantly say how I'm a different person because of it, and I don't bring that up to kind of like revive old drama or to like dig at anybody. I bring it up to explain this piece and give some meaning to it, how my artworks aren't just surface level. Like, yes, they look cool, but there's always a story, or there's always a meaning to it, which should add to the artwork, I think. That's why I'm making the art in the first place. I dealt with a lot of character building. Like, I made mistakes, which is part of the reason why I had to switch schools anyway, because of my own mistakes and because of how I was portraying myself out to others around me. You have to really be objective about a situation, especially one like betrayal. Like, for me, I overthink everything. I try to overanalyze. I try to understand why everything happened or whatever. And, especially when there is a confrontation and two people are arguing and insults are being thrown. Like, if someone, maybe mentions something that you are already insecure about, that's gonna take a while to like just disregard, you know what I'm saying? So with here, the image of like me taking the sword out of my back is essentially me like letting go and being free of the essential chains that I guess my emotions have around me. I'm not the kind of person to like demonize a feeling. Like, I don't necessarily believe in toxic positivity. People feel emotions. I'm not necessarily saying that we should be more zen all the time. Like, that's not what I'm arguing. I'm arguing that it can be very difficult to let go of memories that have hurt you, of people that have hurt you, of hate and such. And I want to convey something like that through the piece. The cross earring is an earring that I have right here, and I think they're really cute. Like, neon pink crosses like that, so it's real. Forgiveness is seen as like a virtuous trait, like most commonly linked to Christianity, and it can be very hard to forgive. Like, I remember being so angsty and bitter around the time I had first switched schools, to where I was really Googling on like searching for videos on how to get over grudges, how to forgive, because I just genuinely couldn't bring myself to do it by myself. And it took like a whole journal for me to like start making steps in the right direction to move on with my life and to let go of spite. Let me show you these earrings I have. This earring says, "I can do all things through spite, which strengthens me." I was that angsty about what happened. I named it Vindictive because Vindictive means like, you know, that like being on bad terms with someone, having bad blood with someone, very much giving vendetta, like rancorous emotions, like you hold grudges, you're on bad terms with somebody. And this is what I came up with for that. So I'm crying, okay. The piece is really emotional and personal for me, but if I can make meaningful art through my experiences and make people feel less alone who have gone through similar things, because loneliness is debilitating, I'll keep making art, period. And making art this meaningful helps me break down my emotions and how I feel. So yeah, so I really hope you liked the piece. That's the end of the video. Thank you so much for joining. But yeah, thanks.